Looking for a white New Year? Some San Diegans are headed to the mountains this holiday weekend. So what do you need to know to make sure those icy roads don't give you the slip? Well, of course, we've got our auto guy, Brian Bowersock of West Escondido Auto, to make sure you've got the 411 on chains versus cables.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Now, I have to say, from going up to the mountains over and over again whenever there's a snow season up there and then seeing all these people who are not used to dealing with chains and cables trying to grapple with them, what's the best thing for people to use who aren't used to putting on chains all the time?
Actually, cables are the best.
The cables are?
Absolutely. They're the easiest to install on a vehicle versus the chains are quite difficult and cumbersome to work with. Cables are quite simple. You can lay them on the ground. You drive the vehicle up on them. You wrap around the tire, hook them in, and you're pretty much good to go as long as you have a correct set that fits your vehicle.
And what's the key to doing that? Do you need to go into the shop and say, hey, look at my car, do this, or can you tell just by looking at the box?
You can actually tell by looking at the box or size on it if you're familiar with tire size. If not, you can go into Napa Auto Parts or any auto parts suppliers like that, and somebody there can actually help you with your tire size and getting the correct cables to fit your vehicle. The problem with anything that's not correct, if it's too small, obviously it's not going to fit.
Right.
If it's too large, it often will damage the body of the vehicle. They come loose. We've often seen chains come loose and beat the side of a car or something like that.
Oh, so that you can actually do more harm than good if you don't get them on correctly.
Correct.
Now, these are easier to get on the cables, but are they more effective in the snow?
The cables actually work just as well as the chains do.
Okay.
They do have a new design cable. It's called a Z cable now that's out. It actually works even better than the standard cables. It's a cross cut and it gets you a better bite in the snow and ice. But either one's quite acceptable, and like I said, they are quite a bit easier to install as long as done properly. If you've ever, like you've said, been up to snow, you see all these people alongside the road and they're fighting with these things. What you should do before you head up there is practice, because if you get, vehicle in a parking lot, lay the cables down, drive the car up on it, hook them all up, see that you can get them hooked up, and then when it's cold, it'll make it easier.
Okay, so the most important thing is certainly making sure that you get them installed properly, which you can get by practicing ahead of time.
Correct.
And then make sure you're using the right size to prevent damage. Again, for people like myself, I'm just looking on the box here, it says the tire size. This would leave me clueless, but the people in the store can help you out with that.
Correct. Go any auto parts store. Typically, Napa's a really great place to get them. They carry a wide variety. The people there can check your tire size and get you the correct size for it.
Now, what are we looking for as price? Is there a big price difference between the cables versus the chains and the chains rather, and then these new Super Z cables?
The cables, the two of them run about the same. They're anywhere from $50 to $70 in that price range. The chains are a little bit cheaper, but once again, quite a bit more difficult to work with and often do come loose on a driving vehicle, and you have to stop and tighten them up. So I would strongly recommend for somebody to get cables if you're thinking about venturing up to the snow.
Now, does the type of car that you have make a difference too? For instance, I have an SUV, but if you have like a small Geo or something, should you go chain versus cable over that?
No, cables are the best for cars all the way through your SUVs, pickup trucks and stuff. One thing I do want to remind people is cables have to go on the tires that are the driving tires. So if it's a front-wheel drive, they go on the front, not the back. We have seen people install them on the rear tires of a front-wheel drive car, and they're sliding around, and they can't seem to figure out why they don't get any traction. So that's a good thing to find out when you do buy cables. Is my vehicle front-wheel drive? Is it rear-wheel drive? So that you install them on the correct set of tires.
And we should also point out to people, while these do provide some help and protection, it doesn't make the roads safe no matter what the conditions are.
Absolutely not. You have to drive with common sense and caution. When you're in the snow and ice, be extremely careful even though you have these on.
And with Southern Californians, we're not used to that, so it can give us quite a slip pretty
easily.
easily.
It's not a good idea to drive 75 miles an hour with a pair of cables on your car.
All right. Thanks so much for all the information. Of course, if you'd like to pick up some change, you can do it at West Escondido Auto. And if you have any questions for Brian, any car questions, you can drop him an email. The link is on our website at fox6.com. Just click on to Hot Topic.